This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and many of you requested a back to school best laptops episode. So here it is for 2017. It's August right now, so this should hold true for several months until you're certainly back in school, or your kids are back in school if you're watching for them. Now I'm going to cover laptops really aimed at high school to college age, because that's where the bigger decisions come in. If you're in grade school, you can get by with a Chromebook, honestly, or something lower end, or an iPad, that sort of thing. Middle school, maybe even still, but the choices and the amount of money you're spending, generally speaking, they go up as you go up in your grade level. We're going to start with the least expensive to the most expensive. And the starter is the Dell Inspiron line. Now, everything that I'm talking about here is stuff that I've reviewed. We don't always have all of them on the table to show you here because we work with review loaners that we have to return to the manufacturer when we're done. But I've reviewed many Inspiron models and have always been struck by the fact that they're very durably built. They got metal casings on them. They have a certain oomph to hold up to a little adventurous carrying in a backpack, for example. They're not as light as the slimmest, lightest, and most expensive Ultrabooks, but the nice thing is that they have many sizes and 3 different quality levels, the 3000, the 5000, and the 7000. And it's really not about the quality so much as the specs get better and better as you go to higher series levels. So the 3000 level starts at around $379, so that's pretty darn affordable, and that's with a Core i3 CPU. You can also get with a Core i5. You're going to get a spinning mechanical hard drive, no SSD at that price, and a 1366 by 768 display. But for that price, it's not bad. And like I said, well-built machine, and Dell is in just about every country. Hard to beat that one. So it's worth noting with the Inspiron 3000 series that's available. What I'm talking about there is the 14-inch size. For the rest of the series, they do 13, 15, and 17-inch sizes. 3000 is the only one that's available with a 14-inch size. As you go up to the 5000 level series, you get higher resolution display, a full HD display. You're still getting a spinning mechanical hard drive there. But with the 5000 series, many of them are 2-in-1 models. They're really 360-degree hinge models, so they're not separable 2-in-1s. So that's kind of nice, and you can take advantage of touch on Windows a lot more easily. And that starts around $500, not too bad. The 7000 series is the cream of the crop in the Inspiron model. It's as good as it gets unless you go up to the Dell Xps line instead, which is Dell's highest end line. That starts around $700, but you do get a 256 gig SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, a Core i5. So you get the idea there. Prices, and some are 2-in-1, some are traditional laptop designs. It's up to you as to which you want. Honorable mention next for the Asus Zenbook Ux302. Now, I've reviewed several generations of the Zenbook 330, and I've always been pretty impressed by it. You get that nice Zenbook metal, swirl metal design on the lid there. It's really a sturdy, sleek-looking laptop, but it's $699. So it's sort of like the much more affordable version of the Dell XPS 15. You get a Core i5, you get 8 gigs of RAM, you get a 256 gig SSD. Now, that's only standard conventional laptop design. There's no 360-degree hinges or anything like that going on for that one. Or you could go for the top laptop for many people is the Dell XPS 13 because it's so compact and it's so light. And there's many configuration options available. You can go with a $999 model, you can go with Core i5. Your average model, you can go up to Core i7 with Iris graphics, huge SSDs, 2 different display options. Pricey though, starts around $999, but you can go up to $1,700, $1,800 easy on that if you go to town with the configurations. One of my favorites is the HP Spectre X360, available in 13 and 15-inch sizes. So with that one, you get a pen in the box. Great for students who do note-taking, particularly for those who have to write things like equations. You're in chemistry class, and it's not going to be easy to try to type out those equations, is it? 15-inch has low-end dedicated graphics, also good for the budding video editors. Really nice displays, beautiful industrial design on there. Thunderbolt 3, it's a real attractive, lightweight product with very good battery life too. Those are around $1,000 to $1,500, depending on whether you're looking at the 4K display option or not and which size you're going to buy. For the artist, there's the Samsung Notebook 9 Pro. This is the 2017 model. Samsung reuses names, so this can get confusing. And again, watch our full review to learn about this one. But for an artist, this is great. There's a 13-inch and then there's a 15-inch with AMD Radeon 540 graphics. So dedicated graphics, a little bit more modern than NVIDIA's 940 MX. Good enough to give some punch to Adobe CC products, and you make your League of Legends a little zippier. But the real special sauce here isn't just the nice, sleek aluminum design. It's very light, it has good battery life, but it has a Wacom EMR pen, which is still the best pen technology out there. So particularly, I think artists are going to appreciate that for the most natural drawing and a pen that supports tilt. Of course, speaking of pens, there's the Surface Pro, which is always an excellent product. I know a lot of people buy them for school just because they're so light and so portable. You can stick them anywhere, and Microsoft's a brand you trust. There are Microsoft stores, so you can go and bug the folks at their version of a Genius Bar for help, and I love the Surface Pro. I always recommend that. The Surface laptop, a little bit less. That rug top on there, the Swedish cover, Alcantara, if we're talking younger folks, more likely mishaps, it's going to get messy, it's going to get icky looking, and also it's just not openable for upgrades and repairs. That I find a little bit discouraging for a product that's around $1,000 to $1,500. For your Mac people, the 12-inch MacBook and the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now, the 12-inch MacBook is great for humanities people who really don't need a whole lot of computing power. It's plenty enough for Office, even for Photoshop and stuff like that. The key there is, if you haven't already, try the keyboards on those. The near zero travel keyboards are an acquired taste for some people, and particularly when recommending these to the humanities folks who are going to be doing a lot of typing. It's an important thing, that keyboard. For the 13-inch MacBook Pro, the Touch Bar model you're paying there, the Touch Bar is not so useful, but you do get that higher wattage dual-core CPU for a little extra oomph. So if you're doing more of the engineering kind of stuff, you might be interested in that. If you're doing the humanities, you'd be cool with the non-Touch Bar model and save yourself some money. Now for those who have heavier computing needs, the STEM folks, science, engineering, math, that sort of thing. Maybe you're an upperclassman, so when you're just starting out, when you're a freshman, you're not really doing that much heavy lifting in your engineering classes yet, your science classes. There's of course the Dell Xps 15 that ranges from around $1,500 to $2,000. Quad-core CPUs in all of these and dedicated graphics, varying levels of speed for those dedicated graphics, but generally enough for most people, unless you're doing heavy-duty serious CAD work. Then you want a faster GPU. If you're doing this because you're going to be the next grade videographer, then honestly, Adobe doesn't benefit from having a much faster GPU. A 1050 is just fine enough for Adobe products. There's a 15-inch MacBook Pro if you're a Mac person. There you go. 14-inch Razer Blade, still a player. Those NVIDIA Max-Q laptops might start to threaten it, but it does have better battery life than the first generation of Max-Q NVIDIA laptops that we've just started reviewing recently. If you want to do it for less money, a lot of these are close to $2,000 or even more in some cases, like that MacBook Pro. There's the HP Omen with GTX 1050, $999. The Acer Predator VX15 that we reviewed, $899. A really good deal. Dell Inspiron 15 Gaming Edition, $7567, only if you get it with the higher end display, because that base 1080 display is just, yeah. Of course, these are not the only good laptops on the market. I mean, good times, it's hard to find a bad laptop these days, especially if you're looking at the $600 and up kind of price range. But these are some of my favorites. These are ones that I've hands-on reviewed, so I've had experience with, and that I certainly would recommend. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos 3 times a week. And thumbs up if you like this vid.